Have you ever walked into a room and before a single word was spoken, you already knew how it would end? Maybe it was a meeting at work, maybe a family discussion, maybe a committee you volunteer for, and they start with, "We want your input." But as they speak, you feel it in your gut. The decision is already made. You listen to the polite smiles, the lines that sound practiced, rehearsed, and slowly it clicks. This isn't a conversation, it's a performance, a script where your part is already written and nothing you say will change the ending. Some people call that the illusion of fairness. For Mara, this wasn't new, but that morning, the air felt heavier. The invitation had promised an open dialogue about department changes. And yet, in her experience, if something is truly open for discussion, it doesn't arrive wrapped in a strict agenda with a tiny 5-minute slot at the very end for comments. Maybe you've had that moment too, when you can tell, before you even sit down, the stage is already set and you're just there to play your part. Mara walked down the corridor toward the meeting room. Her footsteps echoed on the polished floor. She passed the notice board, greeting cards pinned with thumbtacks, photos from last week's bake sale, a motivational quote about teamwork in pastel colors. It all felt oddly out of place. By the coffee machine stood Lena. If the organization had a memory, it was Lena. She'd seen leaders come and go. She'd heard big promises fade into silence, but she wasn't bitter. She carried herself with that kind of quiet dignity, the kind you earn only by surviving storms, without letting them change who you are. "Look, Mara," she began softly, "I've sat through more of these than I can count. If they've already decided, don't let them drain your energy. Speak your truth, yes, but keep it calm. The more modest your tone, the harder it is for them to twist your words." She leaned a little closer. Resentment is like an unpaid debt. It just sits there, adding interest. Pay it off early by letting it go. Further down the hall, Mara spotted Daniel, younger, but with a fire in him. He'd worked in places where silence was taken as permission, and he had sworn never to let that happen again. "If they've already made up their minds," he said, "that's exactly why you should speak. Not because you'll change them, but so it's clear someone saw through it. Speaking up doesn't mean shouting. It just means you refuse to disappear." Two voices in her mind. Lena's calm, a shield against resentment. Daniel's conviction, a refusal to be erased. Both true, both right, both completely different. The meeting room was set like a stage, chairs arranged in a perfect circle, agendas laid out like scripts. The leader at the front, confident, rehearsed. From the opening words on, the direction was clear. "We're here to discuss the upcoming changes." But the tone? It was already a closing statement. When her turn came, Mara remembered her grandmother's words. "Don't let anger write your words. Let truth write them instead." She kept her voice steady, low enough to invite listening, clear enough to leave no doubt. "I'm hearing decisions have already been made. If that's true, I'd like to understand the reasoning, so we can all walk away clear. My concern is that people here feel their voices matter, even if the outcome stays the same." The room went still. Some shifted in their seats. The leader's reply was polite, but polished, like a window with the blinds drawn. And in that moment, she saw it. This wasn't about listening. It was about appearing to listen. Afterwards in the hallway, Lena found her. "You did well," she said. "You didn't take the bait. You spoke your truth, and you let it go. That's how you keep your peace." Later, Daniel appeared. "I'm proud you spoke," he told her. "And you reminded me, Sometimes the strongest stand isn't loud. It's measured, clear, and impossible to twist. That night she replayed the day. From Lena, the art of modesty. From Daniel, the courage to leave a mark on the record. And she realized holding a grudge is just another way they stay in your head long after they've left the room. It isn't just about one meeting, it's the friend who only calls when they need something, the family member who asks for your opinion but never changes theirs, the workplace where the real decisions happen in private and the public meetings are just for show. In all of them, the strategy is the same. Speak truth without venom. Refuse to be baited into a fight that costs you your peace. Let go of the grudge before it plants roots. There's a middle ground, not total silence, not open war. A space where you speak what's true, release what you can't control, and walk away with your dignity intact. Because vengeance, it feels good for a moment, but peace of mind lasts much longer. There's an old truth. Blessed are the peacemakers, not the ones who avoid conflict, but the ones who walk into tension with modesty, speak with clarity, and leave with their integrity unshaken. Maybe you've been where Mara was. Maybe you're there now. If you are, remember Lena's calm. Remember Daniel's conviction. And most of all, remember your own worth. Because the real victory isn't in changing their mind. It's in protecting your own sanity. If this story spoke to you, take a moment to subscribe, not just for more stories, but for reminders that your peace, your truth, and your dignity, whether in the workplace, among friends, or within family, are worth protecting.